Hello, my name is Marwa Rakha. I am a writer and a Montessori educator from birth until the age of 12. I'm based in Cairo, in Egypt. A month ago, I was searching online for interactive online ebooks, and Kotobee Author was the first thing that came up. I began reading reviews about them, and they weren't enough. There were no details. Then I began searching for their videos on YouTube, and I found amazing tutorials, and I watched them all in one day. Following that, I began looking into their website. I booked a free demo, and I had a lot of questions. So what did I want? Basically, I wanted more interactivity with my audience. I had ready-made an Arabic book targeting children between the ages of 6 and 12. It is the first interactive book about sexual education. It is called Hadith al-Nahl wal-Tuyur, which translates into The Bees and the Birds Talk. But knowing how social media platforms and how the current lifestyle has changed everyone, it's like we've been reprogrammed, we've been conditioned to think differently and to interact with material differently. No one has the attention span anymore to watch a long video. Everything is between 30 seconds or less, 1 minute or less, maximum 3 minutes. That's how long someone could watch a video, unless it's something educational like the one I'm doing now. And probably, I hope you would watch until the end. Other people, they would not be able to read something longer than a paragraph, a tweet, something that is written in 140 words, something that is written in 300 words. So times have changed, and children nowadays do not have the patience to sit there with a book and to just read and read and read, especially if the content is educational, if the content is informative, if the content is scientific, like my book. So I was thinking of how can I use my Montessori experience and my knowledge to create something that would be interactive and would keep the child interested, that would keep their attention span. And then I found all the answers on Kotobee Author. Now, let me show you my second book, which is the purpose of this playlist, because I upgraded my subscription with Kotobee Author from 1 cloud ebook to 10 cloud ebooks, and I plan on using them. So now let me show you my second book and what I've done with it. Okay, let me share my screen. Here we go. Share. Okay, here we go. Kotobee Author. Now, what you see here, this is the interface of Kotobee Author. Let me show you or walk you briefly on what you can do here. So here, you will add the picture of the book. This is my book, Cabbage Patch Baby. And it's a Montessori-inspired story about sexual education. Then here you have the book title. Then you have the book manager. This is where I added like an introduction about the book. This is what you have when you want more information about the book. Okay, let's get out of here. And then you start adding chapters for your book. And then let's see here the options. Now you can add images, and with the images, you can choose the kind of animation that you would want for them. It could jump, it could wiggle, it could pop up, it could be enlarged, whatever you have. And you could also have hyperlinks. And then the gallery, I'm going to show you how I use this. Because, for example, let's say one of the people in the book is explaining content, and I want the child to see pictures along with the explanation. So picture galleries have come in quite handy here. The links, these are not just hyperlinks. In my first book, I thought they were just hyperlinks, but in this book, you will see how I have utilized the links to create paths for the reader. It's like, do you want to go left or right? Do you want to go to the garden or the chicken coop? Do you want to move forward or do you want to go backward? Do you want to check another flag or do you want to meet the protagonists? Anchors, these are links within a chapter that you can go back to, especially if your chapter is long and you just want the reader to just go back and take a look at something and then come back where he started. I'm going to show you that too. Questions. Now, as I told you, my target audience for this book are children. And in Montessori education, children are taught by interacting with the material. And there is something called control of error that is built in the material, which means the material corrects the child and the child learns from his or her mistakes on their own. There is nobody supervising and telling the child, no, this is right, no, this is wrong, do this, don't do that. So the questions here are self-correcting, and I'm going to show you examples when I walk you through the book. Audio. In my first book, I just recorded the whole book as a story in one audio. But in this book, I have recorded every single chapter as a separate audio. Or do you think it's not quite updated or interesting? And there are other applications that would be more advanced because here you would have to do everything manually, and this would be so much time consuming. Containers, I haven't used that because all my books are using something called a reflowable layout, and that means that the layout changes according to the screen. And I'm going to show you how that works. Widgets, this is where all the fun goes with all the games. I chose 3 main widgets or mini apps to use. That is basically crosswords, word search, and puzzles. 3D models to help explain and show the child more in-depth content. I haven't used the equations because my book is not scientific in that sense. And I haven't used AI content here, but I've used AI content to generate some of the images that I used in my book, especially the cover image, maybe the images of the protagonists, the father, the mother, the girl, the boy, and so on. So this is basically what Kotobee Author can do for you. Now, let me show you this in action. Okay, so I've clicked here, customize, and this is where you are actually going to see my book. So we start here with a journey, but before that, let me show you here. This is Cabbage Patch Baby, an interactive sexual education story, Montessori-inspired by Marwa Rakha, that is me. Coding and styling by Adam Besha Ahmed Negi, which is my son. He's 12 and he's turned out to be a genius when it comes to coding. CSS, HTML, whatever languages you have to get this done properly. Okay. My explanation and introduction about the book, this would be in another video. And then here you would have the table of contents in case you want to choose the content. And then we would start with the journey. And I started with telling the reader on how to interact with my book. So you can have the author's narration, you can hover over and click the images because I included messages within the images. You have self-correcting questions, true or false, drag and drop, MCQ, and then you have the puzzles, the crosswords, and the word search. You have the links to open and to choose the path. You have 3D models to explore. I have embedded videos and picture galleries. This is an example of the audio. Of course, I'm not going to walk you through the whole book, but I'm just going to show you examples of the special features that I've incorporated. So I hope you could hear the audio. I just remembered now. I'm not sure if I have sharing audio on Zoom or not. But anyway, this is an example of actual audio playing. So that's me reading this. But it's not just me reading this. Sometimes as I'm reading, I would ask the child a question or point him or her in a certain direction. Okay, now as you can see, this is throbbing, which means this is linking to somewhere outside of the book. This is an interesting link effect. Then here, I'm giving the child options. Okay, so like if I click next, you wouldn't see the flags, you would see something else. So here, I'm giving the child options to choose a pathway. And here, this is an example of the picture gallery where you actually have explanation relating to the story here. And then the child could choose another flag or see what's next. So if the child wants more flags and more myths about sexual education, birth, conception, whatever, they can choose another flag. So for example, let's check out New Zealand. This is the story of Cabbage Patch Baby. The title of my book is inspired by this story. And then the child can check out another flag, check out link animation here, my son's coding, or see what's next, moving on. Or I would have, if the child is interested in understanding, for example, what's this Edwardian era, the child can click on this link. So we have two different types of links. The links outside the book, they would throb, and the links inside the book, they would be highlighted in my colors. So let's see what's next. And again, you have the path of going to the garden or going to the chicken coop or going back. And this is Dr. Maria Montessori. And that's how I came up with the idea of this book and the idea of the Arabic book. That's basically, I was wondering, what would Dr. Maria Montessori do? At the time, in her books, in her handbook, in all the tutorings and the teachers that were taught by her, sexual education was never a topic. We're talking 100 years ago, so probably that was the norm then. Maybe it was okay to use the stork or the Cabbage Patch Baby or the whatever metaphor that was used at the time. But using my knowledge, I asked, where would the child learn this? And that's where I found the answer, the garden or the chicken coop. And that's how the story would go. So you can go back in case you've missed a flag, or you can choose which path you would want to go. So assuming I'm going to go for the garden. Again, we have the audio. Again, we have the picture gallery to complement the narrative right here. And then we would have the link outside, and then an invitation to check the chicken coop in case you haven't, or let's go meet the protagonists. And here we go with some coding. So I called my protagonists Adam and Maya. But what if the child wants to give them different names? So the child could type the name here. So let's say, for example, he's going to name him Muhyi. Muhyi El-Ashmouni is the customer service, the awesome customer service guy who works with Kotobee Author, who's got me sold in immediately. And let's say the girl's name is Jenny, because that was one of my aliases at one of the times. Okay, so those are the names that I chose. We go for next. Instead of Maya, you have Jenny. But these are pathways that you can choose. So Muhyi, and that's instead of Adam. And previous again, and the botanist. Instead of Maya, we have Jenny. So you can see how the names would change. And then again, you would have the pictures with the different animations here and there. So now that I've showed you this, let me show you Now, assuming that the child did go to the garden, he or she would be able to identify those flowers. Submit. Of course, I didn't submit any answers, but you would find the correct answer and you would find my explanation. So the child can work totally independent. Let's see something else. This is an example of the word search. So here I'm telling the child getting familiar with words to come. And there is a list of words, and then the child would try to find. So I found here stigma, and it has been crossed. I found seed, and it has been crossed. So you get the idea of how this works. Okay. Hello, B. And we have another picture gallery. Then take a breather because of the short attention span, and let's go for a puzzle. Remember that this book would stay with the child forever, and it's covering 6 years, from 6 to 12 years of age. So the child can come and play over and over and over and over. Let's have a look at this. This is an example of an embedded video. So you click this and the video would open up. And this is another example of a picture gallery. Then we have another type of question. So I'm asking the child a question, and he gets to choose multiple choice. He gets to choose different options, submits the answers. Of course, I didn't submit anything. You would have the correct answers and hints to help the child try again, and then clear and give it another try. So as you can see, it's entertaining, it's fun, and the child gets to interact with the content. This is an example of the 3D model. Now loading, and then the child can manipulate and maneuver the model. And I've given him hints with the things that I've explained previously in the book, so the child can check this. So yes, this is a sexual education book, and I'm doing it the Montessori way. So if you are a parent, rest assured that there is nothing shocking or inappropriate in this book. Okay. Now, this is the core of Montessori, using nomenclature cards and by isolating features and properties. So for example, when the child would look here, let me scroll downwards a bit. So when the child looks here, the part that I'm asking about is the colored part, not the whole flower. And then I ask the child, what's the name of this colored part? And then again, what's the name of this? These are the terms that I've explained previously in previous chapters of the book. And again, the child would submit the answers, would find the correct answer, and would get to try over and over and over again. My parrot is so excited. Here, after doing the plants, I go into zoology and I go into the birds. So we have this male and female and the bird talk. And you have like questions in the middle to help the child connect the information. And then here, the correction. Oh, my parrot is so excited. Okay, let me see if we have something else here. Okay, more explanation. As you can see, you can enlarge the image. Now let's have a look at if this were a desktop screen, this is what it would look like. If that was a mobile screen, this is what it would look like. And in case you rotate the device, this is what it would look like. And scrolling. If this is a tablet, this is what it would look like. Rotate. Here we go. So you get to see what your app would look like on different devices. Here we go. Here we go. So you get the idea. Okay, and then again, take a breather. We have another puzzle. You've seen the questions already. And we have a drag and drop game. Okay. And we have crosswords. Now, what I really love about this crosswords is, so you have your across and you have your down. Here we go. And then help me. It would solve it for the child. And then new design. Here we go. Totally new design. So it's not boring for the child to repeat this over and over and over again. So overall, Kotobee Author has helped me create the content that I had in mind. It has helped me turn an image, a dream, visuals in my head into something real, something the child could interact with, something the child could be interested in, something the child could use over and over and over again without ever getting bored until he has the knowledge and the information that I was presenting. Let's restart the ebook. And here we go. Full view, restart. Okay, I don't know what happened to my images here. I'm gonna have to try to reload them anyway. So this is more or less the book. Now, let me show you something else. I have exported the book to my website. It's not out yet, but very soon it will be. So this is what you have at the landing page. You have an option to buy. And when you click this, you would create an account. And if you have an account, you log in. So I have an account. Okay, here is my account. Next. And you can pay with PayPal. I own the book, guys. Okay. What have I done? What have I done? What have I done? Okay. Here we go. So this is welcome aboard. And that's me logged in. I think Adam will not be very happy. We're going to have to recode all of this. So anyway, now we are in the book. I have to go hurry because the CSS got messed up. Someone has been playing and I need to go check this out. I'm panicking now. Stop share. Here I am. So I showed you Kotobee Author and how it works. Now I'm going to check up with Wahi and try to understand what happened with my colors. See you soon.